reactions to all things addicts. Like Melendez giving up, ADB's crashing out, a mouse trying to roach. That's why we're waiting all day for that late night advance. Madden addicts, football with ads on Twitch, and always remember Flynn is a bench.
And welcome to the second episode of the HenHouse podcast. I am Blue Henny, as the glorious theme song said, joined again by Melendez and this week's special guest Goose. So I'll have them introduce themselves.
Hey guys, what's up?
What's up, y'all? I'm Goose. I'm the Saints user, and I'm happy to be here this morning.
So obviously, me and Melendez had heard this before, but Goose, that was actually your first time hearing the theme song genuinely because we hit it for you on purpose. So what did you think of the theme song? Because honestly,
There was a lot to debrief, but I truly loved it. There's a lot of highs of the song. I like the HenHouse beat drop. I think my favorite bar was waiting for the league to crank at night because it's relatable. Because
it is, everything's relatable on there. That was fun. We had a couple of shout outs on there besides myself. We had Melendez, Beast. Who was the other? Obviously, the Flynn part at the end. I'm not gonna lie, that when I heard that for the first time, that it worked a little too well. Flynn, we love you, but I'm sorry, that was the best rhyme of the whole thing.
It was also necessary.
That was a fire run.
That was really good though. But all right, so on today's episode, we're going to talk about a couple things, addicts, and even a little bit outside of there. So we're going to be talking about our playoffs since we did end by the time of the filming, and our off season's actually tonight. But we're going to talk about the playoff recap. We're actually going to be dropping our HenHouse acceptance. I don't know, speeches, letters, acceptance. I don't know, what's the right way to word that?
We'll call it the
initiation.
Initiation, there we got the better word. And then we're going to have our weekly sports ticket. Now during football season, obviously, since we film on Mondays, we're going to do a Monday Night Football ticket. But that's going to be one of our weekly segments. But let's get the playoff one going here. All right, so I just popped it up now. So you guys are aware of the bracket on your own, but for the most part, I mean, a 7 seed did win, but not really a 7 seed when you think about it. I mean, he did the reverse of real life. He went to Disney first and then won the Super Bowl, but Flynn did. I mean, it is true though. He went to Disney first and then won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
but
honestly, yeah, that's when his fate was sealed, is when he went to Disney.
I mean, sure. I mean, he did it in reverse, so do it right next time, Flynn. But outside of that, I mean, the Super Bowl was a good game for the most part with Mo and Flynn. I mean, I did catch most of it for, I guess research purpose. I didn't want to be talking on here and not watch it. For the most part, it was a good game, an 8-chan game. I did notice that Mo uncharacteristically did force the ball, at least in my opinion, a little more than he used to. And even Justin Herbert just straight up sold some passes. But, I mean, I don't know how much of the game you guys
Flynn,
watched.
You just can't make any mistakes. And also, you have to keep up with him. I mean, I've now watched a couple of Flynn games, and it seems like Terry McLaurin is unstoppable. It seems that HN is unstoppable. I would challenge Flynn to get rid of them both and win and impress us.
I think he's talking about trying to get rid of HN. I don't think he's going to do both.
Yeah, I can relate to having the early game struggles against Flynn for sure.
And I've even, I know you and me were talking about it beforehand, with him, obviously he's a really good user. Someone like me, I've taken him to overtime 2 in a row. A user like that, the double dip at the end of the first half is almost a necessity because, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's his mantra too. Every time I've gotten killed by him, it's where he scores that touchdown at the end of the half and then just kicks it off in the second half and does the same thing. The two times.
He actually took knee. I think he was in the red zone with a minute left and was taking
yeah,
knee. He did it right.
But I was spot on with
but a good move.
That's what I do too though. But the thing I know when you can prevent him from doing that. Not to say you're going to beat him, God no, but that gives you your best chance because I know that's what he's aiming for. And I've done that strategy 2 in a row and took him to overtime and heartbreakingly lost both times. But the fact that I could say I got there 2 in a row shows I at least have some type of idea of what's going on there. The rest of the playoff brackets.
Congratulations to Flynn. Obviously, both of you guys made the playoffs, which is awesome. Even had a matchup of your own. Give some credit to Goose. First off, knocking off the last Super Bowl champion, winning the NFC NFC South is a claim in itself.
Mhm.
Yes.
That was like a blood fest in general, like record-wise, it wasn't pretty, but it's because of the fact that you have many quality users, and it's tough to really beat all of them.
Yeah, I've always had problems against Scada for sure. Like he's probably one of the best players in the entire league.
Yeah,
My
honestly, I had to
opinion,
give
just
my
because
life
I'm
against
like one
Scada.
and nine against him all time. So it's just crazy how the matchups work, especially in our league. It's just like anyone, any given week, just depends who you're playing.
Yeah,
Well,
and like,
I'm convinced, like me, everyone knows I could lose to anyone. I feel if I'm playing my best, I can beat anyone. So yeah, I get that. Um, but yeah, even Mark won the NFC West, and with a three-way tie. Obviously, I think it came down to what, the fourth tiebreaker.
I know, at least yeah, it came down to record versus common opponents, which I ended up having, I think, by a game. Which I think Scada was the tiebreaker for us. That's the only common opponent that you and me had differently. I had the game of my life and scored more than 90 against them, which even that just surprised the hell out of me, to be honest. But
Yeah, 3, 10, and 7 teams in the NFC West, but a 9 and 8 team made it in the AFC. So I'm not going to say it, but the NFC is clearly superior.
well, when we talked about it on the first episode too, where like I'm sure Goose listened to it too, that the NFC definitely is the deeper conference, whereas the AFC was for sure the top heavy conference. Once you got out of the top three, it was definitely a big dip down, where the NFC actually had a more deep conference, and honestly, case in point, the 7 seed ended up winning.
Yes, for sure.
And then just scrolling through here, like in terms of like upsets, the part that even I don't want to say shocked me because I wasn't shocked about Flynn and Eclipse was the fact that both 2 seeds ended up losing in the first round of the playoffs. No disrespect to Mel. Obviously, Mel's won a Super Bowl, but like it was definitely a down year for him. I didn't expect him to beat Bang, to be honest. But I saw that game. I talked up how I still think Bang's passing offense is, if not the best, one of the best. But that was the first time I've seen it look human.
Yeah, I mean, these were not normal 7 seeds. Mo and Flynn,
True.
have both made it to the bowl previously, and obviously Flynn won it this year.
Yeah, Mel.
But Flynn was really only a 7 because
Mel,
of like
sorry.
vacation. Like in this case, Mel had a down season, but still just Mel has the pedigree because he ended up taking out the DJ, which means he took out the number 1 and 2 in our power ranking from episode 1.
Valid.
I mean,
Yeah,
Mel
it's
gonna
about
know.
when the right team gets hot, really.
I mean, that's like the real life
right,
playoffs too.
Yeah, at the right time.
Oop, I'm gonna pause the recording for a second. All
Yeah,
right,
the other surprising that seeing again top seeds go down, but again these weren't normal wild cards. Like these are good people who could win other divisions. And people, frankly, that I don't want to play if I can avoid it.
yeah. But outside of that, it seemed like the playoffs were, for the most part, what people expected. Like, honestly, like 5, like Ravens beating Jags. I mean, me and Reg, people considered that an upset. To me, when I saw that, like, and obviously Reg is a phenomenal user, but I have a very good track record against them. So, to me,
I don't know if you could say that it's how everyone expected still, because if you go by the
if we go based off the,
parlays everyone does in the Discord, I don't think anyone won any.
well, because of the fact that I knocked out, I think 13 of them before any other games got played. Not there was outside of myself, no one picked the Cardinals. You and
No, I picked the Cardinals.
no, you didn't pick the game. I thought.
The Cowboys personally.
Well, yeah, and you told me, yeah, like no one. I'm the only one who actually picked Cardinals. You and Sean just chose to not pick my game.
I think I did.
Maybe you meant
I think
to.
I did pick Zilla over you, but
That's all right. I think most people did, to be honest. I think they thought I would cover, but nobody really thought I would win.
hey, remember, good teams win, great teams cover.
Yeah.
Also true. All right, so I think we're good there on the playoff thing. So we're gonna move on to our
for
next
sure.
little segment, which will be the HenHouse acceptance saying so.
So yeah, we had a couple of different applications. We kind of did it. Started off the Camp Hendez as a joke a couple of years ago. It's kind of become
Entity.
a real good solid group. But we brought in the applications this process, and we took some acceptances. This year, as you can see, we're bringing in 4 new members to Camp Hendez. And really, from what I'm seeing now is 4 playoff users into Camp Hendez.
Yeah.
So we got Mo, obviously, fresh off a bowl appearance. We have Goose, up and coming, great great Cinderella playoff run, like we just discussed, overtaking the Super Bowl champ in the NFC South. Riley, I know he asked for a shout out in the group chat the other day, so we'll give him his shout out, but also welcome him to Camp Hendez. He has a significant history with addicts, been around for a long time. And bang, another perennial playoff user, one of the cheesiest offenses in the league. Someone I can learn from, and hopefully can show me the ropes now that he's officially in the gang.
No, but yeah. Now, I mean, Camp Hendez had at least half of the final four from this year's playoff bracket. Pretty much all new playoff users, like you said, and then you were 10-7 there. I mean, Sean, come on now.
And Sean needs to step it up, but he's the lovable loser of the group. But no, we expect more out of Sean. So
the other thing is, even though with Sean, like his record is deceiving because I've played him now. Like I made the playoffs on the fact that I beat him on a 2-point conversion at the end. Like he has legitimately gotten better. He's just, I think he's wildly inconsistent, but he can do it.
He needs to dev on that running back that he has accepted.
That's criminal that the game has not given it to him yet. At this point, I don't know either. He's still a star.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't make the playoffs this year because I lost to him in like week 3, and obviously.
And I almost missed the playoffs.
Would have made it with one more win.
Yeah, no, he was about to say that 2-point conversion away from you being in the playoffs if I didn't make it, literally.
Yeah, and I saw you had a 1-point game against him, right?
It was like 70-69. He literally played a perfect game on me. Like I didn't make a mistake. He just executed perfectly. Like he's gonna be there. He's just wildly inconsistent because he'll occasionally just drop that game and you just say, "What the hell?"
Yeah, he just needs a couple devs, and I think he's gonna be right there.
He needs a fat running back.
Well, also he didn't learn how to use the new coach abilities until like last season when I taught him.
Yeah.
So like he missed out on like 2 or 3 years of prime development. And so obviously at that point your team just some of these guys, like literally right now, like I'm not even bragging, I'm really happy that I have a 99 overall team. Some guys have crazy teams, and if your team is a little bit behind, could be the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about where you start, it's about where you end up.
Facts.
So we'll move on to our next segment of it, which is going to be our Monday Night Football ticket, which for this week, the Monday Night Football is Panthers at 49ers. I do have some major fantasy football implications on this one. And honestly, it doesn't overlap very well with mine, so I'll let Matt explain it.
Yeah, so I did a little bit of research into, a lot of times I just go off of vibes for my parlays, which is probably why most of them lose. I did a little bit of research this time around. The 4 lines I liked. First off, I didn't put it in the parlay. I think the Panthers could win tonight.
I wouldn't be shocked either. The Panthers have been like one of the more, not to say they're killing people, but they have been one of the more surprising teams because they're not a punching bag.
Yeah, they're not a punching bag. They're big underdogs for some reason. I believe they were like 5 or 6 point dogs.
I guess they're on the road, and usually home teams get like that 3-point boost.
They are not a 7.5 dog team to the 49ers, who are still not healthy.
Well, the books give 3 points for home, so if you really take away the home field advantage, it's really like a 3-point spread, which probably is pretty accurate.
Yeah, either way, I didn't put them in here, but if you wanted to take Panthers money line, or at least with the spread, but the attractive thing would obviously be money line. The 4 legs that I was really excited about was Ted McMillan for both his receptions and his yardage. He had, I had these. He's had 36 targets over his last 4 games. So
I know he's in my fantasy
if he's
team.
going to get 7 or 8 targets tonight, 4 or 5 receptions is not crazy. And if he has 5 receptions, I think one of them's going to be a 20-yard, deep ball. 65 yards is not crazy. Obviously, he just had his breakout game against the Falcons last week with 2 touchdowns. I think it was like 120 yards. So the breakout. Ricky Pearsall, I like him. Obviously, coming off of the injury, he didn't do much last week, but the 4 games prior to the injury, he hit this line. And I think, obviously, with him retaking his starting role, is likely to go over the 40.5. And then Christian McCaffrey, I actually lowered his line. His line was, I believe, 74 yards rushing. I dropped it to 60 because I looked at his stats, and essentially what it came down to was in games that the 49ers win, he goes over this number. In the game that the 49ers lose, he kind of stays right around this 60 to 70 range. Because I expect this game to be close, I don't expect it to be where the 49ers are up and running the ball to run the clock at the end. I expect it to be kind of a little bit lower. So I like the 60 yards. This all together puts you at a plus 453 parlay on FanDuel. Obviously, the numbers change on DraftKings. You can shop for your own parlay prices. But this is what we're going with for tonight.
I don't hate it, honestly, especially because I know Ricky was killing it before he got injured. I know last week was his first game back, and I think about 2 months, roughly, give or take. So I know, once the rust comes off, he was killing it beforehand, and the whole Ayuk drama right now with the 49ers, he has a very real opportunity to step up there. I mean, McMillan, I have him in my fantasy team. I traded for him. He's been killing it since I've gotten him, so I know your stuff was spot on there, and then McCaffrey's going to McCaffrey.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a very intriguing spot for both teams because the 49ers are coming off a game in which they just gave up a record amount of completions. So
oh my God, the Brissett game. I was watching that. I couldn't believe that.
Bryce Young could find his targets this week, especially going into a bye week next week. So this is their last game for a while. I'm sure they want to come out strong going into their bye week. Not to mention, Bryce Young did have a huge passing game against Atlanta last week. So if the 49ers defense is susceptible, like how Jacoby Brissett was able to
set an NFL record.
It really could. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It could be a good passing game for Bryce Young after he just had 450 last week.
It was for what was the record amount of completions, and I know whatchamacallit, because the guy picked him off waivers. What was it? Michael Wilson had 15 catches last week.
Something crazy.
Yeah, 10 this week too.
It's a good spot to be a Tet owner. I think that the red zone opportunities could be there for the whole Panthers passing game because Rico Dowdle opens up the ground game so much. So I really think that the whole Panthers offense is wide open. Like anyone could get open.
Yeah, and honestly, they've been, even though Rico Dowdle has been getting, something like 18, 19 carries per game the last, one of the things I looked at for this parlay was Rico Dowdle's yardage, but his yardage has actually been pretty pedestrian the last couple of weeks. 3 of his last 4 weeks, he was under at least 75 yards. So, after that blow up he had with the 400 yards in 2 games, he's been heavy volume, but not heavy actually yardage. So
he's not giving up a big run, but it's like I said, it is. I feel like it's opening up the passing game because they aren't giving those big runs like they were. They kind of know what Rico's about at this point. They know that he's ready to run to the end zone on any given play. So I really think that the Panthers' offense could be entirely wide open tonight.
All right, so I think that's where we're gonna call it for today. So thank you for again coming on, Goose. Obviously, we'll have you on again later. We're gonna try to bring as many people as we can onto the show. But for the people watching, I think the vote's still going on. But off season tonight, make sure you're there. There's probably gonna be some nice players out there, but I know a lot of teams are cash broke like I am.
Like me, I'm 50 million over the cap after franchising Milrow.
I'm 45 over, I think, million. But I'm not losing anybody. But make sure you tune in next week. Again, thank you for coming on, and we're gonna play.
Thank you for having me. It's awesome being on here.
And we're gonna play it off one more time for our people that didn't hear it before. But all right, we'll see you guys next week.
We'll also drop the theme song in the chat because it might have been a little iffy. Zoom actually has we're doing this over Zoom, and Zoom has a built-in noise canceling feature for music. I know this because I'll tell the world, my mom's a dance teacher, so when she was doing dance classes over Zoom for COVID, we had to come up with MacGyver solutions to get her music playing. But either way, we'll drop the theme song in
case you couldn't hear,
so you guys can hear it out a little bit better.
All right, so we're gonna play it off, and then we'll see you guys next week.
Waiting all day for the leak to crank at night. Get it on your feet for cheese-filled fight. More than a game, these boys won't touch grass. Even for the boys that are perennial. Welcome to the HenHouse pod. Blue heavy on the call. Talking is shit and taking care of the ball. Updates and reactions to all things addicts. roach. That's why we're waiting all day for that late night.